there's kind of a lot to my story, so let's just get on with it. Um, I grew up Mormon, LDS, and not just Mormon, but Mormon, as in trace our roots back to the first believers of Joseph Smith. Traveled west with Brigham Young to Utah, first settlers. From there down to Arizona, Mesa, Arizona. Um, to life-size statue of the founders, my family, of Mesa, Arizona, facing the Mormon temple. You know, major road, Cooper Road, named after my family. Yeah, we were known as Mormon, that kind of Mormon. Um, Everyone I knew was Mormon. As far as I knew, everyone was Mormon. Mormon communities, Mormon church on every corner. You know, I knew very little about any other religion. Um, so yoga, yeah, that was definitely not something um, Mormons did for sure. Um, so not even really on my radar because that was, what the heathens did in the Middle East. The ones that didn't know better. I mean, they were right up there with, the pygmies and the rainforest that we sent missionaries to teach them about the true God. So, I got into my teens, um, and there was some yoga and a PE class in high school. So I was a little interested in that. If you're wondering, I'm not Mormon any longer. Thank heavens. That's not what this is about. So, um, it wasn't until my early 20s that I really even started learning about other religions out there. God bless my husband, who, when we started dating, I started asking him a whole lot of questions. I'm surprised he didn't think I was some kind of weirdo. You know, what's a Lutheran and what's a Protestant and what the heck's a Baptist, and he was very patient and explained it all and didn't think I was a weirdo who went running for the hills. And he was actually the one that baptized me. A little side note there. Um, so as as I was an adult, as far as I knew or understood, yoga was still not something Christians did. Um, didn't quite understand why, just that Christians didn't do it or very looked down upon. Um, but I was kind of interested in knowing why, or knowing more about it, but just didn't kind of know who to ask or how, or you know didn't know anybody that did it that was a Christian. So it was just kind of out of reach. But then back in uh, back in 2018, I started getting serious about my health. Um, and by 2019, I had lost 100 pounds. Um, and I started a running, trying to run couch to 5K kind of thing. That's that sort of thing. And I, crazily enough, decided to do a half marathon in June. Now, mind you, I had just started uh, trying to run in, February, March. Don't know what I was thinking. Um, dear friend of mine did it with me. She was already a runner. Um, and we've done some very crazy things since, a few half marathons together since, but um, did that half marathon, and it was a downhill half marathon. The highest elevation, going from some crazy 11,000 something feet down to 8,000, ridiculous thing. It's called the Slacker. And in my naive mind, I thought, oh, downhill, Slacker. That'll be an easy first half marathon to do. Running downhill, right? Yeah. I know those of you that are runners are laughing at me right now. Yes. Downhill is no joke. And it wasn't just downhill, because you have to imagine downhill in mountains. And downhill in mountains is really just this. Um, Sore doesn't even begin to describe what it was. So the week after, my dear friend said, "Hey, you want to try going to yoga with me? Hot yoga. Um, I hear it'll be good for us and stretch us out." And I was like, at this point, sounds good. Anything that might help. Went again. Um, 5 a.m. classes. Again, another crazy thing that we did together. But we kept going and going and going. And it was not sitting cross-legged and all of this chanting and banging on a gong and incense, all the things. At least not the ones that we went to. And it helped so much. Not just my body, but my mind also. I felt very much less stabby. Um, and but I also started finding that it was just a quiet time for me. It was when my mind was just a little more quiet. My mind was a little more quiet. Um, and I could just sense and feel a little bit more. So, I go to different classes and different teachers and just different experiences, and all of them were good. There's some teachers you like more than others, but none of them felt bad. None of the classes felt wrong. None of them felt bad. Um, but I kept it a secret. A secret as in, I didn't really tell people at church, that I was going to these classes. There was a few, small handful of people that knew, but not right away for sure. Because the thing is that I was on staff at a church at this time. I worked on staff for a decade. And when I say on staff, um, executive staff, pastor, worship pastor, me, staff. Um, and I was not about to tell them because I had a pretty good feeling. Well, not just a feeling. I kind of knew where senior pastor stance was on yoga, um, and a pretty good feeling on where a lot of people's stance in the church was. So it's not that I lied about it. I just didn't publicly declare that I was going to yoga, that I did yoga, you know, just didn't. And I started just researching and just trying to reconcile if it if what I was doing was okay. And I found Christians do yoga, great great resources, and I found that um, they had a teacher training coming up, um, and I was just one that I just wanted to be able to do the poses more correctly, and just really have a more understanding of how the poses were supposed to be done, and make sure, because I'm just someone like that wants to make sure I'm doing it right, um, or how could I be doing it better. Um, Plus, I just, you look around and you see others who are doing a little more fancy. And I thought, well, maybe if I go to the trainings, I could do a little more fancy stuff, you know, look a little cooler in class. Um, but mainly, I just kind of wanted to know a little more. So thought, well, maybe I'll do the teacher training, and not really thinking I'd do much with it, but I would just have a better understanding. And I would do the training through them because they would obviously teach with Christianity in mind. And so I would be learning with that basis of how it relates to the Christian beliefs. And so that's where I actually have my um, certification through. Um, is through them, and then I am a registered Christian yoga teacher, because there is actually a association that you can get your certification through, and I keep up my continuing education stuff through them, that kind of thing. And I learned a whole lot. That it's yes, there's a lot of um, it's yeah, of course, it came out of India, so I mean we can't take that away. But you can do yoga, you can be a Christian, and you can do it at the same time, and you can feel good about it. And it can actually be a time that um, it can be part of your quiet time. Honestly, it is for me. It's time that I can just bring a little more focus into my life and hear God a little bit better than any other time, because I'm forcing myself to just block everything else out and listen. So, besides the physical benefits, um, and the mental benefits, because I do suffer from depression and anxiety, and all the things, it has helped spiritually greatly. Um, so it's been a wonderful thing for me, and there's many others. Um, but I know there's still a stigma because even when I was getting my certification, I did not tell anybody I was doing that. Um, so when I graduated and was certified as a teacher, uh, it was a big surprise. Um, and I actually didn't tell anybody until I quit my job. And I quit my job because we were moving to Alaska. So graduating, quitting my job, moving to Alaska, all happened within the timing was just God's timing is always interesting, but it was all within months of each other. So when everything came out, because it's not a quick process to get your teacher training. So it was, people were like, you never said anything. I was like, no, I didn't because I really couldn't. I had a job that was not compatible with the idea of me being a yoga teacher or even having that or even just going to yoga classes. So that wasn't something I could really say. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, where I came from. Um, so we're gonna kind of go through some of the myths. Uh, you know, biblically, how does yoga work? Uh, the poses, aren't we worshiping gods doing these poses? All the things that others use to argue why Christians can't do yoga. We're gonna talk about them in the next few videos. But hopefully you've learned a little more about me. So if this is a topic that you're interested in, or you have some questions or something that you're just struggling with, like and subscribe for sure, and just check out the other videos that will be coming out because we break down these different myths and the different layers. Um, and I hope to see you again soon. And if you'd like to check out any of my other videos, just look around on the channel. You can check out my website, www.bornwildyoga.org. And just starting to get some videos, some yoga videos up there that you could do for your practice. There's also some free resources on there. But I'm just getting started getting my online classes on there, so bear with me, but they'll be getting going. But until the next time, um, just stay a little wild and enjoy